Hey, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Tracy and I am a girl with plans. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a little bit of brainstorming on what planners I may want to use in 2024. All right, guys, so this is just a filler paper notebook that I have created to house all my filler paper. So I'm going to just pull out one of these colorful sheets. Let's just do something like this. This is literally going to be me talking through things that I think about when deciding on a 2024 planner or just a new planner in general. And, I was going to do this off camera, but then I was like, let me share it with you guys. And that way it might help you to kind of come up with a game plan for 2024. I will give a little bit of a warning. I do use a lot of planners. So even though I use a lot of planners, they may not be necessary for you. I find them more necessary for my life, but I also got a lot of planners on heavy discount. So I purchased a lot of planners from Hobby Lobby earlier in the year, and they were like $3.50. I purchased some from Office Max for about the same price. And I recently picked up a teacher planner for $5. So because I have a whole bunch of actual planners, I have a little bit more to play with. So don't feel the need to add additional planners to your lineup if you don't think it's necessary. A lot of these things probably could be combined with other planners, and we'll kind of talk about that as we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list, first of all, the type of planner and then the things I want to track to kind of think about the type of planner that might be helpful. Now, I'm going to write catch-all. I'm going to admit, if I wasn't filming this video, I probably wouldn't do the catch-all because I think that is set. So what I track in my catch-all is work, appointments, birthdays. Appointments is any type of appointment. So anything that has a time with it. So even if it's dinner with friends, I'm including that in appointments. And then I have been doing chores and general to-dos, more home-based in there. And I do like that in there. It kind of holds me accountable. So those are the types of things that I like to track in my catch-all, or what has seemed to work the best. Now, the one thing that I have learned is, first of all, I do like task list. So I like to have a task list so that way I can kind of jot down or brain dump things that need to be done that I might not necessarily want to put on a corresponding date. So I do like that. I do like separation. So I like category separation. So an example, I used the dashboard planner earlier in the year for my catch-all. They have the task list. Absolutely loved it. They actually have 2 task lists. Love them both. Use them both. The only issue was there was no category separation when it came to my days of the week. So, even though I don't have an abundance of appointments or birthdays, I didn't like having them all together, having a bullet point here that says doctor's appointment 1 p.m. and then having a bullet point here and saying, research on whatever for work. I don't know. That's just not how my brain works. I like the clear separation. So those are mainly the 2 things that I kind of need. The chore to-do list, that did work in the dashboard because of that one section where the days of the week are. They have the Monday through Sunday little list area. I was putting my chores there. So that worked fine. But it just, like I said, because I felt like I needed more, I almost needed a mesh of the dashboard and the vertical. So I'm pretty much going to stick, I think, I'm 99.5% sure that I'm going to stick with the Go Getter Girl planner For my catch-all, because it pretty much combines these two things, because there's a weekly section. So I get my category separation. And then there are daily pages that follow that. Now, I'm not a super busy person. And as you can see, daily wasn't one of my requirements. But even if I'm not busy, I'm actually filling it up because of the task list. So I'm putting a lot of my tasks on that daily section. Now, I'm using the Go Getter Girl planner. I highly recommend it. I think it's a great planner. I'm using the coil bound because the coil bound is a 5-in-1 system. It has the weekly followed by the daily. And I really love how that works. However, there are definitely alternatives to, especially if you want a daily planner. I guess note pages would work with this. You could always use, if you were using a disc bound system, daily inserts as you need to put into the middle of your vertical week or your middle of your dashboard week. So like things like that could work. I just seem to like this setup or the Go Getter Girl option for my catch-all. So I'm going to kind of write that here. Now they do have a disc bound system, but like now I'm filming this video before they release their kind of launch sneak peeks for next year. And so I don't know if anything's going to change, but I know with their current disc bound system, it is daily pages. So it doesn't have the weekly vertical with it. And I like the combination of the two. And the coil has not really been an issue with me. I haven't really needed to add pages to this particular planner. I guess it would be nice if I could like bill plan or finance plan in the planner, but it's fine that I have it elsewhere. I think the only other thing is because I like to decorate, it does get a little thick on the coils with the inability to remove and add pages. It does become a little bit of a cumbersome just because of the fact that it gets so thick and I'm only halfway through the 6-month planner. So what I might have to do is like remove some of the pages from the prior months just so I can have room. But overall, this works for me. I'm not sure that I'm going to like keep my catch-all planner for memory keeping purposes. So if I remove some of the pages, I think that's fine, but we'll see. All right. So that's my catch-all. That's kind of my brain dump, things I like to capture, things that I like in an actual planner, and then kind of what I'm leaning toward. Okay. So content planning, I'm going to skip right over that because I don't know that a lot of my viewers are content planners, but I have pretty much settled on what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using the same system that I pretty much used in 2023. I'm just moving from a classic to a big, and that was just because that's kind of what I like fell into my lap when I found some on clearance. I found some monthly bigs on clearance. I found some monthly verticals on clearance, and my initial thought was if I couldn't find a teacher planner, I would just kind of like alter a vertical to make it work. But I found my teacher planner. And I think the big is going to work for me because I do print off a lot of stuff to add to that particular planner. And I think just being an 8.5 by 11 that I can just punch it and insert it in the planner. So that was another kind of reason why I was like, okay, I think I can move to a big for that particular planner. So I didn't have to worry about cutting it down to classic size. But again, I'm not going to write that here. I just verbally said everything. Okay. The next major planner is my fitness. Yes, I guess goals would have probably been next, but we're going to go with fitness. All right, so fitness, you guys already know. So I track my workouts, workout completed, so the title of the workout. I do kind of, do I want to say workout summary? All right, so let's just say weights used. Workout summary. And then here I do my my Apple stats. So those are this is my must have lists. That's what I track now. That's what I'm going to continue to track. However, I am considering maybe adding back food tracking, whether that be specific food tracking or going back to macro tracking. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I just feel like I need accountability, and that might be one way to do it. So I'm thinking about incorporating that this year into it. For what I need in a planner, this is where it gets interesting. I've been able to make everything work this year. I have used so many different layouts for fitness planning. I actually just did a video on that. If I will link it down below because I think it is relevant to this type of video, where I showed you all of the different layouts I used and how I kind of made it work for me. So I think I can make anything work. When I was looking through my planner stash, I did find some inserts. And the inserts that I found, this might be a spoiler alert, but I think I might have mentioned it in the video. So I guess it's not that big of a spoiler alert. I came across these extension packs. This is the cover. So let me make sure that, yes. So it's this one. So where there is a barbell. I think this is the very first month. So this is usually what you see on the extension pack. It is an older extension pack. However, I've noticed that a lot of stores still carry a lot of older extension packs in their inventory, Hobby Lobby being one of them. And I think that's where I got most of these from. So this one, don't love this because I will literally have to redo all of this, but I like this. And you know why I like this? Because it separates, I mean, obviously I can use this to meal plan, but it separates week 1 from week 2. And that means I can put inserts here and I'm not blocking my view for like a weekly overview. If I want to look at the whole week, I can still see my whole week, and then I can flip it and have inserts here. And then flip it, and then that's my next week. And then flip it and have inserts. So that's the only reason I'm actually considering this. Other layouts I like a lot better than this particular layout, but I like this. I like to be able to put inserts in and not really block my view. And I might actually meal plan on here. I need to, that's one of my goals is to start meal prepping and meal planning. So I will probably use this. If I was to use this layout, which I think right now I'm 95% sure this is what I'm going to use for fitness planning. And then the other thing I was toying around with, and we'll get into this in a minute, for wellness planning, I could actually insert my wellness planning week in here too. And that way I keep it together. I'll do a separate video on that, and I will definitely be doing a final planner stack or planner lineup series as well as planner setups. And I will do those separately just so that way if your focus and your interest is only on one planner, you don't have to sit through it all. But of course, if you like them all, you can watch all the videos. Those videos, so when I select a planner, I will kind of do a quick video showing what I'm selected and talk through it. But as far as the final planner stack and then the setup series, that will start in December. All right, so right now I am leaning toward the fitness extension pack. If I was not doing that, I don't know what I would do because I really like the dashboard. Of course, I'm saying that because that's what I'm currently using, but that would not be probably as helpful for food tracking. I just wouldn't have enough room to track everything. So I would probably have to do like a wellness or, which is pretty much like the fitness, but I have neutral wellness planners. Wellness or even the vertical or something like that would be if I wanted to incorporate food tracking. So this is going to be kind of, food tracking is whether I want to do it or whether I want the option to do it is going to kind of, I need to think more on that, and I'm leaning toward this is what I want to track. So then that means I do need to lean more to that fitness / wellness type layout, or even a vertical to make it work. But this fitness extension pack is right now my number one, just because that particular one has that kind of space between week 1 and week 2, which can be helpful. So wellness. I have already settled on my wellness planner. I am going to continue with the recovery layout. However, if I did not have the recovery layout, I probably would just use a dashboard because they're pretty much identical. But I'm going to list some of the things again that I track in wellness, just in case you guys have not figured out your planner lineup. Me listing it might give you some ideas. So I track my mood. However, I'm going to put a question mark next to that. Because the reason why I'm putting a question mark next to that is if I did not have the recovery layout, which already has a spot for mood, I probably wouldn't track that. To be completely honest, that's something I would not track if it wasn't already in that planner. But I do track my energy levels. We'll say times 3 because I do it 3 times a day. Sleep. Well, it's what I want to track. Sleep hours. And maybe sleep hours and quality. That kind of goes back to energy though. Stress. I do stress/anxiety because to me, they're pretty much the same when I'm filling it out. They are different, but as far as I go and filling out on my planner, they pretty much go hand in hand. And then that's just a sentence. If I was feeling anxious, I will write that in there as long as how I felt. If it was like a physical symptom or just something mentally, I would write that in there. You know, like racing heart or something that could be like anxiety, but sometimes anxiety is just racing thoughts. So that's something I would write in there. And then I would write whether or not I can attribute it to something, like whether something actually happens that might have triggered that, public speaking or something like that. Or if it was absolutely nothing that happens and it just got triggered. I have been tracking eating habits. So like I've just been writing like if I've eaten like something that had gluten in it, because I try to do gluten-free. So I don't write like my daily food log. I just write some like a summary of if I do something really bad. And then that all kind of relates to my symptoms. So if I have a migraine or an upset stomach or anything like that, if I'm sneezing a lot, sounds weird, but if I'm sneezing and I don't have a cold, I might not note that down, something like that. So those are what I have. So what I need is, I do use habit trackers. This is more of a want and not a need because I have plenty of habit tracker stickers. But what I'm thinking of for 2024 is there are certain symptoms that I would like to track with habit tracker. So it's not really a habit tracker. It would be more of a symptom tracker. Let's say it's headaches. So like I would write headache, like in the little spot where you track your habit, and then check off any days that I have a headache. And that I would maybe use that if I do combine my wellness into my fitness. So I'm taking the page out of my wellness planner and putting it into my fitness in between that extension pack I showed you guys, because then I will be reducing down to only one actual monthly calendar. If I don't do that, then I could track some of these on the monthly calendars with just check marks. We'll see. We'll definitely do a planner setup. I do want an area to do a weekly review. And then I need space in the daily sections to write all of that stuff down. That's kind of all I really need. And like I said, obviously my number one is the recovery planner. And the reason why is because they do have habit trackers on their dashboard section, so on that left-hand section, they have habit trackers. I don't know. Let's see. Do I have December, November? Yeah, I do. So here is the recovery planner. So here's the habit tracker. So I would just use that to maybe track certain symptoms that are more frequent. Even if I leave it blank all week, that's fine. So that's, and then I need enough room here to write pretty much everything that I listed here. Except, yeah, pretty much. And I've been using this for symptoms. So basically there I kind of write just a summary of what's going on the day. And I don't have a lot of symptoms, so this is enough for me. I will say if you are tracking a lot more stuff, you know, maybe even a daily sheet could be helpful, or the vertical layout, you know, because of the blocks could be helpful because you could separate the blocks. And what I always remind people too is in all of your planners, like I use the teacher planner. That would be a good one for wellness too if you're tracking a whole bunch of stuff. But when I do my social media content planning, there's an actual row, and you can do this on the vertical too, but there's a row that I don't use corresponding to the day of the week. I just write to-dos in there for the week. So remember, you can always do that in your planners too. All right, so we have catch-all, fitness, wellness. Then I'm going to write this in here, goals. And spoiler alert, I have already filmed a video showing you what I'm going to do for goal planning, because the first thing I know I need, and I'll put that over here, is a separate section / planner. So I don't know that I need an entirely separate planner. I just need a separate section within a planner. Right now, I'm combining that with my weekly and daily in my Go-Getter Girl. And it's fine, but I want to dive a little bit deeper into it where I'm kind of, let's just say it, I'm trying to do a Moxie Life dupe. I can't really afford a Moxie Life planner, but I'm trying to do a Moxie Life dupe, which I kind of was doing with my monthly goal setting anyway, but I think that's what I'm going to do. So maybe we'll just do that. Moxie Life dupe. Okay. So for goal planning, what I track for goals is obviously I'm actually thinking, guys, that I might not do annual goals. I might do quarterly goals. Yes. Now that is not going to come in a planner. I'm going to have to just add inserts. So the first thing I think I'm going to need, this will be here. I think I need a disc bound system because of the insert. So I definitely need disc bound. Could do rings, but because I do disc for so many planners, it's just easier to do disc. So I want to do, like I said, I'm going to do quarterly, but I'm also going to do monthly goals, weekly goals, weekly check-ins, and I kind of want a monthly calendar that I can flip through and see like goal progress on the calendar. So that was something I realized I was missing. So those are the main things I'm doing that I want. And I'm not going to go into because I've already picked it. It's not an actual planner. It is extension packs. So I am using an HP extension pack that I don't think is available, but it's a lot to get into here. So in that separate video, which I'll either be released at the end of October, early November, I'm just trying to get my content scheduling down. That's when that one will come out. But these are the things that are must-dos, and this disc bound is the big one because Moxie Life has a lot of printables. So if I want a Moxie Life dupe, I can use some of the printables, and that's where the disc bound or either a ring type system would work best for me. All right, so We're skipping my content planner just because let me write that here real quick, just so that way I'm keeping track of what I'm doing, because this is not so I'm just going to say a big, okay. Budgets. Okay, so what I need for budget, I need a monthly calendar, because that is where I track my bills. I'm thinking this is going to be the same system I'm using currently, because I started this late in the year and I have a good part of that planner left. So I'm just going to use that, but I'm just going to kind of write down the things that I think I need. And then I need pages to track my finances. And then I want pages to track, really not finances, spending. It's really what it is. And then I need pages to track my quarterly income / bills. So this is something I will get into more when I do the setup, but I am using the undated budget planner for Happy Planner to track my finance and spending in the monthly calendar. And then to track my quarterly income and bills, I'm using I think it's the home extension pack from Happy Planner that I got from Joann. It's at Joann and Hobby Lobby. And they have for monthly, you write your income and then you can write your bills and stuff like that. Well, I find that a lot of my bills are pretty consistent by quarter, because that's kind of by season. So I'm just lazy and I don't like to do stuff like that every month. And I know I'm not, but I think I can do it if I do it quarterly. And then I can kind of get an idea of what my bills would be January and February and maybe into March. It should be a little bit lower in March because heating is a killer when it comes to my bills. And then when you get to the spring, my heating and air, my electricity is pretty much consistent. Summer, it's going to be pretty much around the same. So that's why I'm doing it quarterly. I guess, quarterly. Maybe I'll do it a little bit different and do it maybe seasonally. So instead of quarterly, I'll do January, February, and then do March, April, May, June, July, August. That makes so much more sense. So I will do it seasonally. So instead of this, we'll say seasonally. And then my income is pretty consistent. And if it changes, it's probably only going to change maybe once a year, which we can keep our fingers crossed. You never know when that little raise or anything's going to come up. So that's why I do that. This also needs to be disc bound or ring bound. Just something where I can do inserts, because this is pretty much like an insert based system. Again, I will kind of go over this, and I pretty much have figured out what I'm going to be using for that. And I think that's it. The only other thing is my journal, but I'm not going to do a planning kind of figure that out here, just because when it comes to my journal, I use whatever I have, and if it's outdated, it's outdated. It's just a place to kind of, write things. So, I have a lot of verticals, so I use a vertical, but if I had horizontals, I would use horizontals. So, but that's it. So these are pretty much the planners that I'm going to have next year: catch-all, fitness, wellness, goals, content planner, and budget. My catch-all is going to be completely separate because that is a coil bound planner, so I can't add anything to it. Everything else, I'll figure out what I'm going to Franken plan together, what's going to be separate. Content planner is probably going to be separate because that's a big, but everything else right now, it's kind of up in the air how I'm going to do it. But yeah, that is my 2024 planner brainstorm. I'll just write that here. Yeah, nothing fancy, but just kind of thinking it out loud and putting it to paper. Maybe this guy, gave you guys some ideas. Whether or not it gave you ideas, it might have gave you ideas of how you can kind of brainstorm when thinking about your upcoming planner, because it can become overwhelming when you start seeing all these deals, let alone all the planners that are available, because you still have your 18-month planners, which ran from July of this year to December of next year. So an 18-month planner, I'm telling you guys, don't sleep on those 18-month planners, because they will be going on clearance because, oh, there's like 4 months that are outdated. Who cares? You still have January through December 2024 on it. Just remove the outdated ones. Because they'll end up being cheaper a lot of times than your 12-month planners that haven't started yet. But regardless, it is overwhelming. All these planner companies are coming out with their 2024 launches, and it is true FOMO, because when you see all these awesome planners, you're like, whoa, I kind of want that. So I think brain dumping not only helps you pick your planner, but it might help you not go a little overboard when it comes to all the planners coming out, because you can look at what you really need, what you really are going to be tracking, and maybe not have to buy the $78 planner and be able to like use a $30 planner, or perhaps even use something in your stack already, because it is so easy to redate planners. There are several redating books. I have one right beside me. This one, Essential Dates and Numbers by Happy Planner. Super easy redating book. So, I mean, that is definitely one I have. I mean, look at this one. I mean, this is perfect. So if you can find this book and you have an old outdated planner that you can get on clearance, and then you can buy this book a lot of times on sale. You don't have to buy this book today. You can wait to Black Friday. They have this book at Michael's. That's where I picked this one up. I think I picked it up for like $10 when they had a sale. But like, look, January. So you have all these little ones that could be for your monthly redating, and then this could be for your weekly redating. So this is a great book for redating. Hobby Lobby's Paper Studios brand is also, they also have a really good redating book. So there are several out there. Mojo Jojo does as well. So it is very easy to redate planners. So definitely don't be scared if you have any that you didn't use, that maybe you can repurpose them. All right, guys, this has been a long and chatty video. I'm sorry, but you know, I was kind of thinking out loud and putting it to paper, which sometimes makes for a longer video. All right, and as I said, I will be filming more content around the 2024 planners once I choose some. If I'm changing, if I'm keeping the same, I'm probably not going to film that early on. You'll just see the big reveal when I do my planner stack reveal. That will probably come in December. And then I will do some fun setups as well. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. And if you are not already subscribed, I really, really, really would appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. And I do want to give a big thank you to all of my returning subscribers. I really appreciate all of your support. That is all I have for now. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.